Peter Schiff, I hear that you are a Bitcoin convert.
Oh, well, you heard wrong.
Peter Schiff and I have been friends for many years, and he has done great work to teach people about sound money. But when it comes to Bitcoin, he just doesn't get it. And he's been one of the most vocal critics of Bitcoin for a really long time, despite some of the best people in the industry trying to convince him otherwise.
I would also like to thank Peter for agreeing to spar with me here this evening.
That's why I was pretty frustrated recently when hundreds of people started flooding Peter with donations. To what end? He's had Bitcoin for a long time and it hasn't done any good convincing him. We seem to be beating a dead horse here, and I was pretty vocal about voicing my displeasure of the situation. I sat down with Peter to talk about it in person and to find out if I am correct in thinking that there is indeed no hope for him. 98 other people sent you donations.
Well, here's the way it started. There were all these articles about how I own Bitcoin, like I'm this secret Bitcoin guy. And Pomp had put out some kind of tweet about, hey, Peter Schiff owns Bitcoin. Doesn't matter what he says. Look what he's doing with his own money. He's secretly been buying Bitcoin. Yeah, I got like $50 worth of Bitcoin. Someone gave it to me as a gift. And I also got a little Ether and a little Bitcoin Cash. I got the wallet from Eric Voorhees because I did a debate.
Eric, you get the Jersey Girl. Congratulations.
The rigged debate, I think I won, but all the Bitcoiners voted me down. Eric and I went to dinner. We had a nice dinner. He set me up a wallet. He transferred me $100 worth of Bitcoin, and I transferred him back 50, so we could see how it was done. But I got to keep 50.
For the record, I think it's awesome that Eric sent Peter his first Bitcoin. But the fact that over a year later, Peter is still as opposed as ever, and hundreds of people are still sending him donations to the tune of thousands of dollars, I can't help but think that perhaps there would be a better way for these people to spend their money.
I got the Ether and the Bitcoin Cash a year ago at the Money Show because, you see, my dad's book. Right.
Is this a plug right now?
Well,
Did you just commandeer my show to make it a... All right, do your pitch, do your pitch.
No, it's not really a pitch, but see how I'm selling these books? So I was selling them for $20, and this guy...
For $20 if you'd like to purchase.
But this guy didn't have any money, and he said, would I take crypto? And I said, it just so happens I've got a wallet. He wanted to pay me in Ether and Bitcoin Cash. So I charged him $30 instead of $20. Because I said, look, I don't know, I don't have confidence in this. You're going to have to pay me a premium to take that, crypto stuff. So I started reading a lot of stuff on the internet about how I own Bitcoin. When I saw the Pomp tweet, then I finally said, look, I got like not even $100 worth, and I didn't buy it. It was a gift. So then Pomp tweeted, oh, what's your address? I'll give you another 100.
You got several $1,000s worth of crypto donated to you.
Actually, I haven't sold it, but I kind of hedged it.
How did you hedge it?
Well, a friend of mine in Puerto Rico is so convinced that Bitcoin is going to make a new high, 20,000. And I said, I think it's going to make a new low, which is about 3,000. So I bet him an ounce of gold. So my hedge is this: if Bitcoin goes to 20,000, I owe him an ounce of gold, but I'm going to make more than that on the upside. But if it goes down to 3,000, then when I get an ounce of gold, that'll equal what I lost.
What people, I think, were hoping for is that you would get this money in your wallet. Maybe you'll go to a booth around here at Freedom Fest and you'll say, oh, they accept crypto. Maybe I'll buy this book for crypto. Do you think there's a chance that you might try to use it to see how it works? Were all these donations in vain?
I would use it. Look, when I first got that wallet that I have, and I had this Bitcoin, I was in Fire Island for a few days. And there, I don't know if you ever go to Fire Island, but no one takes credit cards. Everybody has cash. And I thought, maybe I can use this Bitcoin. And every time I went for pizza, I went for some frozen yogurt. Can I pay you in Bitcoin? Nobody would take it.
So Peter gave up trying to use Bitcoin because he went to a remote area where they didn't even accept credit cards and they wouldn't accept it there? You wouldn't have a hard time finding places on the internet. Like if you wanted to buy something on Amazon or Overstock or something like that, there are easy ways for you to purchase.
Overstock, but they're like, people make a big deal about the fact that Shift Gold, we say we take Bitcoin, but we actually don't. We use this company BitPay is like a middleman.
BitPay's great. They work with a lot of companies, and that's the way that we facilitate a lot of transactions in the crypto space.
Right, but it's not like we're actually taking Bitcoin. We're taking the dollars that people get after they sell their Bitcoin.
But I think the important thing is that you're providing a market for Bitcoin people or crypto people who want to use it, which I think is good. Can we give you a challenge to seek out some crypto acceptors and find products, and maybe we'll document like what you were able to purchase, what your experience was?
I tried to do this thing on YouTube, like the Peter Schiff Bitcoin Challenge. I did mention that I have this RV that I'm trying to sell, and I'll take 100,000 in crypto. Somebody wants to give me Bitcoin for it.
Do not buy his RV for $100,000. Peter is upselling you.
If someone buys my RV, I mean, it's a beautiful RV. I've been trying to sell it.
Jeff, you got to stop. They're not paying $100,000 for your RV in Bitcoin, so you can prove some Bitcoin
you got
point.
all these Bitcoin millionaires. I mean,
They don't want your RV. They're buying like a $200,000 Lambo RV, all right? So, like, can we, like, if I find some cool products that I think you'd be interested, or if I find, like, a gold dealer who accepts Bitcoin or something, would you accept the challenge that you would exchange some of that Bitcoin for goods?
Well, I have to keep some of it now in case it goes to 20,000. I lose my bet. I don't think.
Preparing for the inevitable future. I appreciate that.
No, I told you I got to hold. That's my hedge.
Sorry, right. You've got to. He's a hodler. So if there's one thing that we've gotten from this interview, it's a confirmation. Peter Schiff is a hodler, and there's hope for him.
Holding on for dear life.
So it didn't register fully until I started editing this video, but Peter is net long Bitcoin. He has a hedged position, but he is net long. Perhaps Pomp was right, and we should be watching what he is doing and not what he is saying. Anyway, back to the discussion. A lot of people sent you these donations. We're not sure what you're going to be doing with the money yet.
Well, it's not money, it's Bitcoin. Don't. I'd have to sell it to get money. So if I buy gold with it, then I'd have money.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm not going to try and convince you. I absolutely did try to convince him. Because I've tried in the past. I've tried years ago. I tried in
if anyone could
2014.
do it-
I was on the Peter Schiff show in 2014 trying to convince him about Bitcoin. This has been a long-running feud between us.
Joining our program now is Naomi Blackwell. Naomi Brockwell.
I'd be so rich if I had listened to you.
I'm not going to try and convince you. Bitcoin isn't backed by anything, and you bring that up all the time. Gold isn't backed by anything either.
Gold doesn't have to be backed by anything.
That's
Gold
the
is
thing.
money.
Well, that Bitcoin is the money because Bitcoin is a digital asset. And I think people have a hard time wrapping their head around the fact that we have digital assets now. They don't understand it, like that there's value in that. But our computers are just ones and zeros. And there's tremendous value in the data there.
No, the computer is more than just the software.
Well, the software is ones and zeros, and there's tremendous value in that.
Because the software can do something
And so can Bitcoin. Valuable things, Peter.
do anything that any other cryptocurrency couldn't do. It doesn't have any property.
Well, it does. It has network effect and reputation and a whole lot of infrastructure built around it and products and services. You can't just replicate
and that
those.
could be lost. Yes, you can. Somebody else can come
But
up.
they haven't. That's why it's not interchangeable with other cryptos right now.
Well, so far, I mean, it hasn't been around very long. I mean,
I mean,
in the
but,
scheme of things.
so right now you're saying it's money, but it might not be money in the future.
Well, I don't consider it money. I mean, some people do. I mean, you're right. It's not a current. If it was a currency, it would be fiat. But if you want to say that it's
Fiat means by government decree.
But it
It's the
also-
marketplace that gave Bitcoin its value, not government decree.
no, but again, it has value because people believe it has value. It has value because people believe somebody else will want it in the future.
Right. So market has shown that it has value. That's why
Right,
it has
no, but-
value,
no,
rather
but-
than the government dictating it.
Right,
And
but
then
the value still comes from faith. Like even though the government.
or from analyzing the technology and recognizing that it's a useful technology.
Let me finish my point. Even though the
No, I'm going to keep interrupting you like you do on your show, Peter. I think I was still pretty sore from when he kept muting me on his show in 2014.
Yeah, but
And it completely
this is what
undermines
the
technology.
governments require. I mean, we'll be right back.
It's all fun and games. We laugh about it now. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, well, look. Nobody knows in 10 years if anybody's going to want a Bitcoin, right? Maybe it'll have a lot of value because a lot of people will want it, or maybe nobody will want it. You don't know that. You're taking a leap of faith.
And it's the market that will determine that. I mean, just to kind of summarize here as we wrap up, the thing I would say is that you've really entrenched your position, and it's very clear what your position is, and you're renowned. You are infamous in the Bitcoin space for your position. My question is, I feel bad for you because I think we're moving into a digital age where we're going to see more and more of these digital commodities, and we're going to have programmable money.
But that's the problem for Bitcoin. If there's more and more of them, then it dilutes the value of Bitcoin.
Well, not necessarily, because you're seeing the emergence of different ecosystems.
To me, if Bitcoin's going to really work, all the other ones have to fail.
Well, that's
It
not
has to be
true.
just one.
Why? Why is that?
Because I just think that if other ones can come up that are better, then more and more can keep coming, and you keep diluting the market. You keep inflating the supply of cryptocurrency.
Well, I think market shares will definitely shift over time. But the same way that the US dollar and the yen can compete, Bitcoin can compete with Litecoin and Monero. They have different functions and different properties.
Right, but then if you're saying that there's no limit, there's an endless supply of potential cryptocurrencies that can be created out of thin air.
People don't necessarily want them. There are a lot of shitcoins, but they might not.
Bitcoin not a shitcoin? What's the difference between the shit and bit?
Because it has a tremendous amount of hash power behind it that makes it very secure.
For now,
Right. So if it changes, we'll see market shares shift, and I think that's totally fine. Have you put yourself in a corner? Have you made things hard for yourself? If you might change your mind, I'm not saying you will change your mind, but is a potential you might. Is it going to be difficult for you to admit that?
No, people think that, look, I've got this kind of bias. I'm in the gold business, which is only a small part of my business, by the way. Believe me, if I actually thought that Bitcoin was digital gold, I would say so, and I would buy it myself. Could I possibly admit that I was wrong about Bitcoin in the future? I could. I don't think I'm so stubborn that I couldn't change my mind if, new information were able to persuade me that my initial feeling was wrong. The fact that the price has gone up, it hasn't changed my mind on the fundamentals. It has, showed me that I should have bought it, obviously, because I underestimated that other people wouldn't agree with me. How many people would actually...
Well, some libertarians don't recognize a good thing when it hits them in the head. And you're one of them. It's totally fine.
But I missed out on so many bubbles, and this is the one that really was tailor-made for me. This was my chance to become a billionaire, and I kind of blew it. I know a lot of people now, especially in Puerto Rico, and I have a lot of good friends that have a lot of crypto. So if I'm wrong, at least I'll have some rich friends. You'll take care of me, right? If I need...
I wish I was one of those rich friends,
but when Bitcoin is millions and millions of dollars a coin.
I still have hope for you, and I think that maybe one day we'll get there. So I'm going to keep checking in. You have done tremendous amount of good going out there and teaching people about sound money, so I appreciate that too. And I look forward to the day when you recognize that Bitcoin is an alternative as well. Peter, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
All right, take care. Nice to see you again.
Shut it down!